Hello, welcome to Sarah's Tarot and Oracle for the Soul. So today I will be doing a first impressions of the Shadow Seer Tarot. Mary bought this at the Namaste Spirituality Conference in Dallas in June. So I went ahead and picked this up. I have not looked at it online. This is produced by Destiny Books out of Rochester, Vermont. And let's read what it says. As a tool for shadow work and divination, the Shadow Seer Tarot deck and guidebook give methods to see through the blind spots of ordinary tarot readings into the heart of what is often hidden. Using Hermetic principles, Maja D'aoust defines oppositional energies as they relate to the cards of the tarot. With the alchemical method of reconciliation through opposition, she looks deeper into the familiar meanings of the major and minor arcana to give readers insight into the shadow energies at work in their lives, to reveal a path toward wholeness. By inverting the archetypes and revealing their shadow side or dark types, Maja opens portals of understanding to the bad behaviors that we often attempt to conceal, repress, or deny. For example, shadow forms are represented in the suit of cups by cards such as the toxic family, the glutton, addiction, and betrayal. In the suit of wands, the dark side of our drives and passions are exposed in cards like propaganda, slander, and false martyr. And the avoidant, working with our secret shadows rooted in the underworld of our ancestors, reveals deeper truths and a more balanced perception of the world. Maja D'aoust is a practicing witch and scholar of alchemy and occult lore who has been reading tarot professionally for more than 20 years. She is the author of Familiars and Witchcraft, The Occult I Ching, Astrology of the Shadow Self, and the creator of the White Witch Tarot. She lives in Los Angeles. So we saw her artwork at Buckland's Museum of Witchcraft, and I picked up her book, The Occult I Ching, which I've kind of just browsed through, and I've seen her artwork, so it's really cool. I knew what I was getting. Oh yeah, you can see what I bought at Buckland's. I still have the receipt. Buckland's Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. So yep, I got the a zine, and I got 2 books and a poster. So yeah, I am definitely in my collector's era. It's so dangerous for me to be working in a metaphysical shop again because I just spend all my money on tarot, oracle, and witchcraft books. So we have the top, it says Shadow Seer Tarot. It's a magnetic closure, which is really nice. Okay, so when you open it up, you have the book, and then it has the deck separated into 2 different sections. So that's a really nice box. The book looks really nice. To the forgotten ancestors long buried in the folds of the earth, who once felt how we feel, who loved, hated, hungered, lusted, thirsted, strove, failed, and triumphed in their time under the sun. When we remember them in the sway of our emotions, compulsions, and struggles, we are reunified. Their strength is ours, and they are honored. All right, navigating the sea of needs, ancestors, requiem, and shadow work, a vision of hands, how to use the Shadow Seer's Tarot, and then we have the cards. So the majors have been renamed. So the Fool is now Hubris, the Magician is the Manipulator, the High Priestess is the Abandoned Bride, the Empress is the Cannibal Mother. Wow. Okay, so you get the idea. So this looks amazing. So this is a 243 page book. Here is the author. All right, so yes, this looks so good. So the cards are pretty flexible. Here are the backs. They're pretty tiny too. Almost fit in the palm of my hands. I like that they're glossy and they're not too thin, not too thick. You could definitely, you know, spread them out. They're gonna shuffle really, really nicely. They're gonna shuffle like butter in my hands. I love that. All right, so the Fool is Hubris. Okay, so I like that it has the original title and then what it's been renamed for the Shadow. So that's kind of cool. Here we have the Manipulator, the Abandoned Bride. Wow. The Cannibal Mother with the snakes in the eye. I'm trying to get comfortable. The cards are so shiny. You can see the... All right, so we have the Tyrant. Ooh, the Skinwalker for the Hierophant. Interesting. Nemesis for the Lovers. It's like, where does one begin and the other? It's kind of confusing, right? The Swamp, Chariot. Frailty for Strength. The Spectators, the Hermit. The Curse is Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, with the snakes. Pity Party for the Hangman. That is awesome. The Deceiver for the Moon. That is like perfect. The Destroyer is the Sun. The Punisher is Judgment. Apocalypse for the World. Here's Ace of Cups, Hatred. Two of Cups, Betrayal. Six of Cups, the Spoiled Brat. Seven of Cups, Addiction. Eight of Cups, Rumination. Nine of Cups, the Glutton. 10 of Cups, the Toxic Family. Page of Cups, the Con Man. Knight of Cups, the Player. Queen of Cups is the female fatale, the femme fatale. King of Cups is the diva. Ace of Wands, propaganda. Two of Wands is the colonizer. Three of Wands is quid pro quo. Four of Wands, we have divorce. Five of Wands, rival. Six of Wands. King of the Hill is Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands is slander. Nine of Wands is ego wound. 10 of Wands, the false martyr. Page of Wands, the avoidant. That's scary. I'm kind of scared to see what the swords are going to be. Validation seeker. King of Pentacles. Oh, Knight of Pentacles, sorry. The Slumlord. The Queen of Pentacles is the Madam. Ace of Swords is Cruelty. Queen of Swords is the Prude. Oh, and King of Swords, the Merciless. So let's see how these shuffle. I think they're going to shuffle really nice. Ace of Wands, propaganda. So let's look at the book. All right, so we have a little bit about the wands. We have a quote from Pluto and then what the wands represent. So it says the wand suit represents passion, creativity, and sexual drives. These are affiliated with the planet Mars. All right, so that's all I'll read from that. And then I'll go to propaganda. So we have the original type, that it's an Ace of Wands, the title, and then we have a quote here that says, propaganda is a soft weapon. Hold it in your hand too long and it will move about like a snake and strike the other way. This is from the Lark by Jean Analia. So you get quite a few pages. Traditional interpretations of the Ace of Wands tends toward sexual energies, creative projects, and the written or spoken word. I always tend to view the Ace of Wands in its positive form as the talking stick, and it usually means we need to speak our truth or write something down, whether a book or a blog entry, although many of my divination reader friends always laugh and call it the penis card. I guess there are many ways to express our passions, talking being only one of them. The shadow of these expressions and passions is propaganda, the use of speech and writing to persuade and distort. The ego is in place of dominion and rulership and uses communication to engage in force, combative competition, and one-upmanship rather than sportsmanship. There is a clear difference between fact and fiction, but this has become more and more blurry in modern times. There used to be a clear dividing line between opinion pieces and actual news reports, and there still is in some media sources, but it's becoming more common for propaganda to be intertwined with news reporting. Back in the day, the government was not permitted to be part of the media to prevent corruption and propaganda. But that has gotten more murky with social media, as seen in recent court cases: Murray versus Missouri, Moody versus NetChoice, Linkey versus Freed, O'Connor, Radcliffe versus Garnier. Cases are also arising regarding abuses of Citizens United ruling, including funding and promoting candidates using super PACs and nonprofit entities to hide or use loopholes, allegedly. Politicians spin stories to present an altered or biased version of an event that puts them in a favorable light. The opposite is also done, a politician slandering their competition through smear campaigns being one example of this. An attempt to slander your competition by presenting a slant on a narrative still proves as effective as it did back in Roman times. If you have pulled the propaganda card, make sure you're not altering your speech, texts, or emails too severely, because you yourself might be generating propaganda, engaging in hyperbole, and giving a slanted version of events. You may also be the victim of ad campaigns being run against you from a competing peer in order to skew the crowd in their favor. Social media has made us all far more vulnerable to this shadow form. So if this card is drawn, double check your sources and make sure you're keeping your channels clear. So today I'm filming this. It is July 23rd. I almost said June 23rd because I did buy this deck back in June for my birthday, and it's taken me this long. I really wanted to do like my first impressions of this deck, and I love the size of it. I love how it shuffles. I love that it's glossy. I love a good glossy deck. I am really surprised that these are not huge and oversized. I love you, Inner Traditions. I think you're great. I love the company. But usually their cards are huge. They're usually like oversized and really awkward. But this deck, the quality is great. And I don't usually go for these very minimalist deck cards that are just like black and white. But I knew what I was getting. Like, I've seen obviously her artwork. I have one of her other books. So I knew, and I just think it's so cool and it's so different. So I wanted something different. And like now I said, I'm in my collecting era. So I just really wanted something that was different for my collection. And I feel like for personal use, this will be really, really helpful. I'm gonna start doing inner child work, but you know, always doing shadow work is always important, and I'm sure there'll be a good way to interlace inner child healing and shadow work together, so that I can get over this my own bratty behavior with being sick and being where I'm at in my life. So yeah, I think that this deck will be really helpful. And I picked up this book as well during the month of June, The Inner Child, 10 Ways to Reparent and Heal Yourself by Tiffany Trieu. And this book just looks so good. I haven't started working with it yet, but it's definitely something that I want to do. We have This Book Is For You, Inner Child, Who Are You? Committing to Yourself, Creating Rituals of Safety, Visualization, Play, and Creativity, Going Deeper, Being Vulnerable as an Inner Parent, Self-Punishment and Self-Forgiveness, and A Village of Support. So I love this book. It's so pretty and vibrant, and hopefully it has some good information in here. So we have like a reflection prompt. What affirmation would you like to tell yourself when you are uncertain of whether or not to react, or uncertain of whether or not to reach out to a friend? So yeah, that's really cool. And then we have about ancestors. Then we have about teachers and guides. Have you been surprised by any moments with family members? And then we have visualizations. So yeah. These are 2 more items that I picked up for my birthday month, but also to help me with my own healing journey. And you know, we all know that that's like ongoing, and we may think we hit a place of healing and then something else pops up. So I know it gets tiring. It's like, when am I done healing? When am I done growing? Like, and I don't know if the answer is ever. I mean, we may go through like ebbs and flows of learning something new and then integrating it and then living it embodied, and then, you know, going into the next initiation. So we'll see how this all goes. Let me know which card was your favorite. This one really freaks me out. 5 Pentacles, the Parasite. That's so creepy. But thanks for watching. As always, have fun. Keep on shuffling. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.